Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome to probably the shortest Sub Saturdays ever. So, I am leaving for Arizona tomorrow, and I will be gone for about a week. Nothing will change with the channel. I've actually pre-recorded a lot of Dark Souls episodes that should run throughout the week, so nothing should change. This channel is still on hiatus other than Sub Saturdays and Unboxed until Fallout 4 releases, but over on Vanasaur, you will still get 5 episodes of Dark Souls a week until I get back, which is going to be in a week. And as I said, because this is probably the shortest Sub Saturdays ever, I'm extremely pressed for time. That brings us to the question of the week, which is by Schweener, who asks, what personality type are you? Now, I assume you're asking me what 4-letter classification I am. I know that test is real big, and a lot of people will say, I'm INTJ, or whatever the hell the combination of letters are. I'm not too big on stuff like that because I don't like to describe myself as a predetermined set of letters. So I'm basically going to talk about how introverted and extroverted I am. I'm definitely a mix between the two. I don't want to say like 50-50 because I'm more introverted in some aspects and I'm more extroverted in some aspects. As far as introversion, in high school, this is where it pretty much all started because I've always been really outgoing and like the class clown and stuff like that. But in high school, I gained a lot of weight and I became extremely aware of myself and my self-confidence just was like, so starting in high school, I started to get into my head a lot, and pretty much any time I would say anything, I'd think like, is this a good idea? Should you be saying this? And I'd always think about what I was going to say before I said it, and that's a terrible habit to get into. And you know, just general shyness and stuff like that. It was, the introvertedness was running rampant in me in my high school days. It's an odd mix because as far as extroversion, I'm actually like the most outgoing, funny, loud person in my group of friends, and I have no problem like making jokes all the time, even if some of them fall flat. So, you know, getting all of those introverted tendencies in high school sort of clashed with that, and I didn't have those problems before I got to high school. Like, I was still like that in elementary and middle school, but high school is really what killed like a big portion of my personality, and it really sucked. But since losing the weight, I've sort of gotten over that. But yeah, it sort of clashes with my extroverted tendencies, but I've been working on that a lot, and I've pretty much got over almost all of it, I would like to think. Like if I meet somebody in a bar, I will be very hesitant to talk to them, and I'll be in my head all the time. I'll be like, oh, what you just said is so stupid, blah, 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 blah. But it was a lot of social anxiety, basically. But since losing the weight, that's not really an issue anymore. In fact, me and my friend just went to the bar the other day, and he met like some of his coworkers there, and by the end of the night, we were all friends, so yeah. So just like the majority of people, I've got a good mixture of introvertedness and extrovertedness in here and wherever it is. So that's gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to keep these so short, but like I said, I'm extremely pressed for time. Gotta leave tomorrow for Arizona. I will be back in a week though, like I said, and I will see you guys all there for another episode of Sub Saturdays. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate your patience in holding out for Fallout 4. Bye bye.